there's no Sky reporter here, Steve, so I'll try and ask a couple of questions that I assume that they might want to talk about. I'm second guessing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, just generally, you come off the back of last night, you're still fresh. You had the incident with yourself, which means you can't, looking forward, be on the touchline, I think, for the Ipswich game. So I'm just wondering, putting aside for the moment the controversy, what impact will it have not being on the touchline on Saturday?
Well, we haven't had confirmation if that's going to be the case. So if it is, we'll deal with it. It's fairly common. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's fairly common now in the modern game, and you'll probably see it most weeks. Up and down the league. So we'll take it as it comes. Probably highlights decision making of referees, and that's why these things happen. But we'll deal with it as it comes. The players, it won't be a new experience for them. I think they had it last season as well, and we've come up against teams recently that have had managers upstairs as well. So it's our turn to deal with it, and that's what we'll do.
You're bound to still have some thoughts and feelings about what happened just less than 24 hours ago. I guess you can't allow that to cloud your thoughts going forward.
No, I covered it last night, and I think that you have to. I always try and be honest after a game, and as I see it, and without repeating everything that I said last night, that still stands. But at the same time, with such a quick turnaround, which was always the plan, obviously, because of the fixture schedule, such a quick turnaround for the game on Saturday. And we've got to continue with that plan, continue the schedule, and all focus now is in our preparation for Ipswich. So, we've had a really good morning's work. And like I said last night, through the frustration and the annoyance of how the game went last night, it's quickly been turned into a positive motivation and determination for the next game, and that's where we're at now.
So you fully utilise your squad in midweek. Can we assume? You should never assume, but can we assume?
Yeah, you should never assume. You're right.
Can we assume that you'll fully utilise your squad again, shall we say, for the weekend?
Well, we'll see. I think that obviously you pick a team, but you pick a team that you think is best fit to deliver a plan that can win you the game. So that doesn't necessarily mean if players played last night that they won't play again on the weekend, and the sort of vice versa. If just because they weren't. I mean, we picked up a couple of knocks as well, and throughout the week, obviously, Abdul is not available for the game last night through a groin. So we had a couple of forced changes as well. But now we'll see. But just because we went one way last night doesn't mean we're going to go a certain way on Saturday. We'll see how that one goes.
They're yet to win, of course. The last thing you'll want is for them to get their first win against yourselves.
Well, I don't want any team to get a positive result against us. That's for sure, regardless of what recent form is of any team. But aware of that. But that's not for us to be concerned about. We're concerned about, like I said, our preparation now as we stand, and going into what will be a good game to play in. Focusing on a performance that can get the result that we want. We want to get our third win, and there's a big determination to do that.
You've got that classic balance between, you've been shipping a few goals.
For sure.
But you've shown you can score too.
Yeah.
It's getting that balance right.
Yeah, and that's always the case. Yeah, and Ivan won't hide away from the first point you made there about the goals, and particularly in the last two games, some mistakes, if you like, that have led to that. So first and foremost, we need to focus on our concentration and be present in the moment, because we are, as you said, in a ruthless environment now in the Premier League, where you do get punished. And I know last night was a cup, but it's obviously it's a Premier League opponent. But But no, you're absolutely right. You know, we've got to get that balance right, and obviously tip it in a positive way for us that we're scoring more than we're conceding.
And looking at the table, which perhaps we do more than you do, but it feels like a very significant game already. How do you see it?
I think they are all significant, because whoever you're playing, you get a win, and you know, it can make such a difference, as we've seen with the 2 wins that we've got already. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but you know, 3 points is 3 points, and you've got to give everything to, you know, to get that next one, whoever you're playing, and that's always going to be the objective. The first objective is to get a win in a game that you play. And this is one that we're looking forward to going down to Ipswich and playing for sure, because you know, we really want to get that 3rd win. We're determined to do it, and like I said, the game's going to come around quick, but in some ways I think that could be a positive thing as well.
The 2 games between the 2 sides last year were very tight. I know you weren't here, but
no, I've seen it. Yeah, no, I believe that though. Yeah, yeah.
What are you expecting?
Well, Ipswich have been on a constant rise for the last couple of years with Kieran, and I think everybody has, you know, been following that in some way, shape, or form. Or like I said, over the couple of years, and that now they're applying their trade in the Premier League, and obviously, you know, both teams got promoted last year, and by getting promoted, you know, you can create a sort of big games when you play against them, because of where you are in the league table. But you know, that was last season. You know, some things are the same at both clubs, some things are different. And what is always different is the timing of a game, because of what might have happened, you know, in the build up with previous games, etc. So yeah, all of that adds good context to the game. All of that sort of adds to the motivation for both teams, but we're very much focused on ourselves, and as I said, like, looking forward to playing again. You know, it's we knew it was going to be you know, a quick turnaround. There's no problem with that. I think we've got to thrive off these, you know, little challenges. I don't see it as a disadvantage, you know, because you know, you've got to be able to deal with all of these things, and it's a good chance to show you know, that we can adapt to anything that comes our way. So yeah, let's get down there, let's get playing.
I'll give somebody else a chance. Cheers.
Thanks, Simon.
Simon, good to own from really Leicester.
All right,
Hi Steve, good to see you.
You too, mate.
On Abdul, will he be fit for the game this weekend?
Well, we're waiting on a scan. Unfortunately, he picked up a little bit of a pain in his groin in the build-up to United, so I certainly ruled him out of that game. And yeah, we'll see what the scan brings. Hopefully, it's positive news in terms of when he'll be back. It's like with Victor, you know, when you send him for the scans, you sometimes fear the worst and hope for the best. So let's see.
On Victor Christian, so you talked about him there as well. I know you said he had a groin.
Yeah, he's back
problem.
training.
So he will be available this weekend.
Yeah, he trained this morning for the first time. Pat was back in training as well, so that was positive. I've got a young guy obviously training with us, Michael Golden, who is a good young player, and he had a little spell out, so he's back in training. So so you saw Yannick return last night as well. To the pitch. So yeah, on that front, apart from Abdul at the moment, you know, it's fairly positive.
You talked about the defensive side of the game with Ivan just a moment ago. How can you use the short period of time between last night and this weekend to try and shore that up? Yeah,
I think first and foremost, it's facing up to it, and I know I always say, like, use the word owning it. I think, you know, we've got to, like, take responsibility for anything that's not quite right. You know, there's always a topic to talk about that you can do better on, and at the moment it's probably you know, giving opponents good opportunities to, you know, to score against us, or to, you know, have a dangerous moment against us. So so we should always, you know, stand up and be counted for things that need to be better, and that will always change from one topic to the next. That's the beauty of the game. You game in, game out. You'll do some good things one week that are not so good the next, and vice versa. So we've always got to bear that in mind, and we are, and we will. I think concentration is such a key factor of what we're talking about now, and like I said, I might have said to you last night, and in the post match, it's maybe if a team has worked really, really hard to create some good chances against you, it's not a good thing, but it's a little bit more accepting than giving the opportunities than what we've done, particularly in the last 2 games. So yeah, let's cut her out. Let's concentrate more in their moments than what we have, and if we do, we give ourselves a chance of, if opponent is going to score against us, then really working hard to do that.
If the suspension for yourself does come through before the game this weekend, what kind of challenges does that pose managerially from your perspective, and how do you kind of manoeuvre and deal with those?
Well, for me, it's always about what does it mean to the players, and we're big on players taking ownership, and in these sort of big stadiums now that we play in, they often can't hear much anyway from the sideline, and not like they would on a normal training day. That's for sure. Not saying that you can't make a difference or not from the sideline. So, but like I said, a lot of the players still here from last season. They had an experience of it last season, and but players are just honed in on, they know what it takes to do well in the game. They know what they need to do, and that'll be no difference regardless of where a coach is standing. In our case, ours. So logistics wise, if it is the next game, then we'll work that out, and it'll be a different experience, but one that we'll try and make into a positive one, certainly not a negative one.
And just finally from me, you talked already about the significance of the game this weekend, and that every 3 points is significant.
Yeah.
But based on the opponent that you are playing, and the fact that the next 2 games are Chelsea and Manchester United, again, does it pose a slightly different perspective on the game in terms of the significance, because it is a team that is likely to be in and around yourselves come the end of the season? Does that have any difference or changes on that?
No. I think that I don't think we should assume that anybody should be anywhere, regardless of what might have gone on in the previous few games. I think it's more about living in the moment, understanding who you're playing against, respecting it, of course, knowing that any game of football you have to play, you have to earn the right, and you have to go and make things happen, and that's no different for this. But we know we're very much in a position ourselves that when we've been at our best or shown a good version of ourselves this season, all we've been thinking about is us, and it's Ipswich on the weekend. They're the next opponent, and that's who we're coming up against. But we've just got to really, like I said, when we've been at our best, it's just been all on us doing what we know we can do in games, and the intention is that we play well on the weekend and we get the right result. But to do that, it's going to be making sure that, like I said, we focus on us.